What is going on, my beautiful LARPers and LARPettes? Today we're going to go over the Type 15 from Watchtower Firearms. Now, you may not have heard of Watchtower Firearms before, but you have heard of F1 Firearms. Now, F1 Firearms is notoriously known for the skeletonized upper receivers and the skeletonized lower receivers, as well as the fancy anodizing that you see like this one here in front of me. But they have been around for quite a while, and as of recently, they are under new ownership, and they have rebranded as Watchtower Firearms. So I want to go over a couple of similarities that F1 parts still share with the Type 15, and also highlight the main features that you're going to see on the new Type 15s that are coming out. But before I get into all that, what is my relationship with Watchtower Firearms? Now, they did send this one out for free for review. No payment was involved whatsoever. This F1 Firearms rifle here, I did purchase myself though. So I was a big fan back in the day of the whole skeletonized receiver thing. I just thought it looked really cool and different. But I am really glad that they kind of pivoted to this style of rifle here, and I'll get into that once we go over all the details. And also really quick guys, I'd like to thank the channel sponsor Atlantic Firearms for sponsoring my YouTube endeavors, and always there for me whenever I need them in terms of purchasing really cool AKs and other firearms and stuff like that. So go ahead and give Atlantic Firearms a follow on Instagram and YouTube and all that good stuff. Now let's start right at the front here, and I'll probably just move this F1 out of the way because that's not really the focus there. It's going to be this Watchtower Type 15. So right at the front here, this is what they're calling the flat face compensating muzzle brake. This is literally the same muzzle brake that they are using, or they used to use on the F1. So if you see on my old F1 here, you will see the same exact design, but you'll notice at the front of the F1, it's a little bit more of an angle cut there compared to the flat face at the front there, and that's probably why they're calling it a flat muzzle brake, but maybe I'm wrong. But anyways, yeah, you're getting a little bit of a difference there at the muzzle, but it essentially is the same exact muzzle brake that you used to get on your older F1 rifles. Now moving on back from the muzzle, I went with the 223 Wild with 1 1/8 twist, 16-inch barrel with the mid-length gas system. You do have a couple of options from the factory to choose from in terms of barrels, but I went ahead with this one because I don't know, I just like the 223 Wild barrels. Now moving on back, this is their 13.7 S7M free-floating barrel, or not barrel, they're free-floating rail. And within this rail, you get M-lock slots all through the right, the left, the bottom, and you do get a couple here. Not sure if I can show you, but right here at the top corners of that rail there. Not sure how I'm feeling about these holes up here. I mean, it does give really good ventilation. I did get this thing pretty damn hot while I was out there. And the only reason I'm not sure is because I have a little bit of a phobia, right? Trypophobia? Is that how you say it? But those of you that go ahead and Google that, and it is a thing, and it kind of triggers me a little bit. It makes me itch a little bit when I see all these clusters of holes up there, but it doesn't really bother me much when I'm shooting, but that's the only reason I don't really favor this design. But again, it's just my problem, not your problem. This one here is equipped with Magpul sights, as well as the Streamlight ProTac. I think this is the ProTac rail mount HLX. Sorry if I don't know that. I usually run Surefires, but this one actually is surprisingly bright, and really nice pressure pad there. So yeah, don't think that comes with the rifle itself. You'll have to check in what type of accessories you can get with this rifle from the factory. And in terms of accessories, or on the topic of accessories, there's this little hand stop here that I think is really, really cool. It is a you can see at the front there. I don't know if I can get a closer up for you guys, but it is textured at the front there, kind of like a spiky little pattern there. That's if you're gonna bump that guy up against a barrier and get yourself a solid purchase on that, so you can get very accurate shots. I was kind of doing that with some rocks and stuff out there, and the back of my vehicle bumper and stuff like that. And within this hand stop, you can see that there's two little QD points right at the bottom there that I think is really, really neat to have on a hand stop. And if you'll notice on the rail as well, I didn't mention that there are QD in the back of the rail here, the front, and on the opposite sides as well. So essentially you have 6 QD attachment points at the front fore end here. Now moving on back to the receiver set. The receiver set is going to be the biggest difference that you're going to see from the older F1 models to now the Watchtower models. They went ahead and fully enclosed everything and went with a more of a traditional AR-15 look, right? So they went from this fancy skeletonized receiver here to a more, I would say, functional. Not saying this wasn't functional here. I just think this was more for competition purposes, to be honest. There wasn't really something that I would want to have as a home defense go-to-work type rifle, right? But they since then went to a home defense go-to-work type rifle. Here, everything's fully enclosed now, but they are also giving you that kind of similar design of these serrations, but these cutouts there. So they didn't shy away from showing you that it kind of has that skeletonized look by that CNC machining there, but it is fully enclosed where you're not going to get dust and dirt and debris and sticks and rocks and all that type of crazy stuff into that rifle. And as you can see here, I don't know, well, probably not, but I was shooting underneath my vehicle and I was blowing a lot of dirt and dust and rocks up. And this thing is completely, smothered in dirt. And it was still running perfectly fine. Now moving on to the bolt. This is a true black PVD coated bolt carrier group here. Now the PVD coating that they put on this one is pretty much identical to the coating that's onto this F1 here. Now that coating there is one of my favorite features of the F1 rifles. It's a very, very slick, smooth coating. It's one of those coatings where if I take that bolt carrier out and just wipe it down, just dry with a dry rag, it'll completely wipe clean. The carbon buildup doesn't build up as much as a normal BCG would. So that PVD coating is one of my favorite things in the F1, and I'm so glad that they kept that same coating into the Watchtower Type 15. Now the lower receiver is a flared out little magwell here. Watchtower logo right at the right there, and you also get a standard mag release, standard dust cover. You have a standard ping pong paddle there, and you have the same exact safety selector, ambidextrous safety selector that you used to get on the older F1 rifles like you see here. Now, moving on to the trigger. The trigger was another favorite feature of mine on the F1 rifles, and I'm so glad that they kept the Hyperfire triggers into these Type 15s. This is the Hyperfire EDT2 Heavy Gunner trigger. Hopefully I got that right, but this trigger is extremely, extremely fast to shoot, extremely smooth, single stage trigger, and I was able to get extremely fast splits on that video there that you've seen in the intro. It's not as light as the Hyperfire that's in my F1 right here, but it's very, very nice and smooth on this Type 15 here. This is a trigger that I would not want lighter though. Usually on a like competition style AR-15, I want as light as possible, but if I'm gonna have a like shit hits the fan, duty style self-defense rifle, I want a little bit of a heavier pull on that trigger. Now moving on to the charging handle. The charging handle has a beautiful Watchtower logo right at the top there, and it is ported out the top there. I don't know if those ports have anything to do with using a suppressor or anything like that. It doesn't really look like it would be for suppressor use, but if it is, I'm sorry if I got that wrong. But They are making their own charging handles now as opposed to the F1s. The F1s used to use Radian charging handle with their F1 logo on there. So super cool that they are now making their own charging handles. You get a mil-spec buffer tube, you get your B5 stock with a B5 grip, and you just get your standard heavy buffer in there. Now that about does it, guys, for the Type 15. There are a lot of differences between the older F1 rifles, but there are tiny bits of similarities there. I'm glad they kept the similarities that made me love the F1 here right in front of me. But I do love the fact that they kind of went a whole different direction. The F1 rifle was I think it was a niche rifle, right? It was for those people that want something flashy, something different. And me, I use this to go and compete with. I just think having your own gun that has a cool flair to it kind of just adds to your character while you're going out shooting competition, kind of sets you apart from the group where people are asking questions on what it is, but it's nothing really to go around and use in a self-defense situation. I mean, who am I to say? I mean, you can use this to defend yourself. I just think it's gonna look a little funky to be running around with one of these in a shit hits the fan situation. Now, I did get out and shoot about 850 to 900 rounds out of this thing my first go around. I shot this thing super fast, and I think I shot it all within about an hour and a half or something like that for that intro. And I got this extremely hot, not to the point where it actually burned me though, but I was shooting mag after mag after mag, and it ran beautifully out there, even with all this dust, dirt, and debris that was blowing up into this receiver here. So very nice rifle from the Watchtower crew there. But enough about what I think. What do you think? Do you think the Type 15 is the good route to go and that they should have done away with the fanciness a long time ago? Or do you kind of miss this crazy, fancy, skeletonized receiver type rifle here? Let me know in the comments down below on what you think about these rifles here. And if you own a F1 Firearms rifle, I still think that they are completely warranting those. Don't quote me on that, but they do have a lifetime warranty on the Type 15 rifles. But thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you. I love you all. Catch you in the next one.